Let's have a quick conversation about FICO score versus actual score. So this actually started when a viewer of ours sent us an email, and he said, Chase just gave me a tiny credit limit, $4,000, even though my 802 FICO score and 93,000 income should have landed me a much higher limit. So what gives? So in today's conversation, we are going to we're going to dig deep here, and we'll provide answers. So if you are interested in this conversation, I want you to stick around till the end. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka. Now let's roll. In today's conversation, we are actually talking about the case of Robert. And basically, he said, he wants to have a clear understanding of FICO score versus actual score, because Chase just gave him a tiny credit limit, what he considers tiny. That's $4,000, even though he has a high FICO score, very high, 802, and he has high income, $93,000. So he thinks he should have landed a much higher credit limit, and he's right. So let me first say what's going on here. I want to summarize things for our viewers, because I want everybody to pay attention. I want everybody to be on the same page so we have a clear understanding of what's really happening here. So what's really going on? So we have Robert W. So Robert, as promised, we're not going to divulge your last name. You are 49 years old and you live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I want to give a big shout out to all our peeps in NC. Love y'all. God bless you. And Bob, you earn $93,000 a year. You are an industrial architect. This is really great. This is a great job. I heard about that job not long ago. It's a wonderful job. And so you are married with one child. And right now you have 5 credit cards at the moment. And your FICO score is 802. Very high, very high. God bless you. And your wife doesn't work right now, so she's working. She's actually at home. And the thing here is that you said that you have many credit cards. You have Chase, you have Citi, you have Discover, you have Bank of America. But the thing that really pisses you off is the Chase, that they just gave you a tiny credit limit, $4,000. And when you think about that, this is really so you really do not understand what score Chase is looking at. That's why you asked us, and we have been exchanging emails with you. You are asking us, what is FICO score versus actual score? What score is Chase looking at? Because your FICO is telling you have 802. Normally, based on your 802 FICO score, you should be actually having a credit limit in the 5 digits. That's your rationale. So we are going to dig deeper here. Beloved viewers, this is the situation. Please feel free to pitch in, okay? So first things first, Bob, the thing that's really important, you need to understand that what is the FICO score? Because we want to go back to FICO score 101 to clarify things from the get-go. What is the FICO score? So FICO, the Fair Isaac Corporation, is a company that creates specific scoring models used to calculate your scores. So the scoring models have been updated several times since they were developed in 1989. So according to FICO, more than 90% of top lenders use FICO scores. In addition to its base versions, FICO also offers industry-specific scoring models and scores for distinct credit products such as auto loans, credit cards, and mortgages. So how accurate is the FICO score? Well, a FICO score is based on the information in your credit report. So Bob, whatever you have in your credit reports, that's what's going to determine your FICO score. Okay, so the accuracy of your score will depend on factors such as which FICO score model is being used, in this case Chase, the credit bureau your report is pulled from, and whether your credit reports have up-to-date information. This is really important. So errors on your credit reports, Bob, if you have errors on your credit reports, this could also affect the accuracy of your FICO score. So the question is, you have 802 as a FICO score. How accurate is that? When was the last time you checked your FICO score? Now, base FICO scores range from 300 to 850, and they are made up of the following credit score factors. We have payment history, 35%, amounts owed, 30%, length of credit history, 15%, new credit, 10%, and credit mix, 10%. And when we think about the ranking here, depending on what scores you have, you may wonder what they mean. Now, FICO actually defined the following credit ranges based on FICO Score 8 credit scores. So, exceptional, 800. Very good, 740 to 799. Good, 670 to 739. Fair, 580 to 669. Poor, 579 and below. Okay, and industry-specific FICO scores, including FICO Auto Scores 8 and FICO Bank Card Score 8, have a broader range of 250 to 900. So based on this table, at 802, you have an exceptional FICO score. So on paper, everything looks good. You should be having a higher credit limit. And the thing is that your FICO score might be different from your credit score because you have something called Vantage Score. So Vantage Score Solutions were created in 2006 as a joint venture of the three major consumer credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. So there are 4 Vantage Score models, and the latest Vantage Score 4.0 uses a range of 300 to 850. And so basically, the thing is that there might be a situation whereby you are constantly finding yourself that there's a difference between the FICO score and your actual score. And also remember that credit bureaus, they do have proprietary scoring models. So in addition to the FICO and the Vantage Score credit scores, each of the 3 national consumer credit bureaus offers its own proprietary credit scores. Because lenders typically don't use these scores when making credit decisions, they're often called educational credit scores. Very important to know. Bob, you got to be careful here. When we talk about the situation you described to us, you need to be careful because one thing you did not pay attention to is the fact that Chase has its own composite credit score for each client based on the client's external FICO score, account history with Chase. In other words, we're speaking here about the number and diversity of accounts you maintain with the bank, your open credit products with Chase, your average daily deposits, okay, whether you have direct deposit at all with Chase, your employment history, your annual pay, your history of NSFs, non-sufficient funds, your history of overdrafts. So the thing is here is that you did not consider that part. You did not see it coming. See, you only focused on your external FICO score, which is fine. But Chase has its own composite credit score. Similar to the PenFed. PenFed has a next-gen internal score. Similar to Navy Fed, which has an internal credit score. All banks, for that matter, have their own internal credit scores. So you might be having 802 on your FICO score, but maybe you have a low internal credit score at Chase. Who knows? Remember, this is based on a constellation of factors. So the question for you is you need to be careful. So what I want you to do is I want you to review those items that I just listed to make sure that you are in good terms. You are actually pulling strong elements. You are pulling strong data, strong metrics when it comes to your relationship with Chase. Okay, your account history with Chase. How many accounts do you have? What is the diversity of accounts? I'm speaking about checking accounts, savings accounts, IRAs, investment accounts. Okay, how many open credit products do you have with Chase? Do you have direct deposit at all with Chase? Okay, what is your employment history? You are an industrial architect. This is really good, but do you have direct deposit at Chase or you have direct deposit at another bank? Okay, it's really important to actually think about. Okay, anytime we talk about, in this show, we speak about NPR. People think we're playing. No, NPR is a real thing, and banks pay a lot of attention to NPR, multi-product relationship. You want to cultivate a relationship with the bank so the bank can actually remember you when push comes to shove, literally. they need to actually say, okay, this person has been parking his or her cash with us for the last 10 years or 15 years. We are going to reciprocate by lending him or her a very generous loan amount, a very generous amount. Solution idea number 1. Robert, you need to update your income information in Chase's system. In the system, in Chase system, okay? In the bank system. You know why? The delta between your income, $93,000, and the credit limit they gave you, $4,000, that delta, that gap is too large. That means that Chase does not have updated information about your income. We can guarantee you this. I mean, when was the last time you updated your income? See, you have to understand, credit card issuers such as Chase and other banks, they generally do not verify your income after they have issued the credit card. Okay, they're not going to track you how much you're making. They don't care. They only start caring if you are having problems with a card or you are defaulting on a loan or a line of credit. That's when they start caring. Otherwise, they don't actually gather intelligence. They don't gather intel on you. No, they really don't care. Okay, so you really want to update your income information in Chase system. Okay, and this will be great not only because you can get a higher limit, but also income updates can affect future product offers. Okay, and the thing is, in some cases, issuers such as Chase, they may share your income information with other companies. They do it. I mean, they can say publicly, we don't do it because there are some legal consequences if they admit this publicly. But they do share information, and which means you might start having, if you update your income in their system and you say, I'm making 93 grand now, then you start getting products, you start getting some new services that are advertised to you. And the thing is you can always ignore the request. You have all the telemarketing calls and all that. You can ignore the request, but for all intents and purposes, for this specific question that you were asking, if you want to solve the 4K, we want to bring up the 4K limit that you have, you need to update Chase, and you can do so you can go to a branch. And I want you to bring your W-2. I want you to bring your tax returns, your 1040s for the last 3 years. Bring your pay stubs. You can bring your 1099. I don't know if you are a company or if you work for someone, but whatever you need to bring to show Chase that you are making $93,000 a year, please bring it to a branch and have a conversation and say, listen, I really need a higher limit. I'm not working with $4,000 at all. Okay, and be polite, but be forceful. Be very clear about the limit you would like to have. And you said in the series of emails that we exchanged with you, you said that you were looking for 5-digit minimum. So that's 10 grand minimum. Okay, and that's reasonable. I mean, with your high FICO score and high income, you should usually get that amount. Solution idea number 2. You want to call Chase's reconsideration line. So the thing is that if you don't want to go to a branch, if you really don't have time, just contact their reconsideration line. See, the thing is, a lot of folks believe that you only call the reconsideration line when you have been denied a credit card. No. You can actually call for multiple reasons, including when you are not satisfied with the limit they gave you originally. Okay, so you can call 1-888-270-2127 for personal cards and 1-800-453-9719 for business cards. Okay, so the Chase reconciliation line is a special phone line you call that really offers you a chance to persuade a Chase representative to overturn a rejection or deny a credit card application or a lower limit on a credit card. Okay, and so they operate Monday through Friday, Saturdays also, and Sunday. So Saturdays and on weekends, they work from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday and 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, of course, on Sunday. Okay, this is important. And now one thing I want to say here is that what do you need before calling the reconsideration? Well, it's the same paperwork that I just gave you. When you went to a branch, same thing. You want to have your W-2. You want to have your pay stubs. You want to have your tax returns, and if you maintain bank accounts at other institutions, then you want to have your bank statements. Okay, if you have the most important thing is that you want to have the statements of the account where you have direct deposit. If you have your direct deposit with Chase, that's fine. Then, if not, you want to have the bank statements for that bank. Okay, and the thing is, Chase has many application messages. They might send you to the automated status line. They might tell you to wait for 30 days, for 2 weeks, for 7 days, for it really depends, because the rep might not be able to raise your limits on the spot. He or she might say, listen, we will get back to you, but you just got to be patient. Okay. And the thing here is that, please make sure that you are polite. Make sure you explain how much you want, and make sure that you explain why you need a specific limit. The thing is, it's not just about, hey, listen, I'm pissed. $4,000 is nothing. This is a low limit. Okay. How much do you need, and why do you need that? Those are the two questions I want you to really think about, Robert, before you call, so that you have a clear chance of actually getting the limit that you need and deserve. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome, my folks. We are still having a conversation about Robert, and Robert actually is a 49-year-old who lives in Charlotte. He earns $93,000 a year. He's an industrial architect, makes a lot of good cash, makes some good money. He has a high FICO score, and he does not understand the dichotomy between his high FICO metrics and his high income, and the low limit that the Chase has actually granted him, $4,000. So, solution idea number 3, Robert, what I want you to do right now is to fix other things. There are other elements in your financial life that you need to actually fix. Now, the thing is, you can ask for a credit limit increase on your other credit cards. Yeah, because you said you have 5 cards at the moment. So instead of focusing only on the Chase credit card that has a low limit, if you tried everything, if you went to the branch, if you call the reconsideration line, if you call the general line, if you send them a message through customer service and Chase is not really doing anything, well, that's fine. You can come back to Chase later on, but in the meantime, you can request a credit line increase on one of your other existing credit cards. This can be a great way to maintain credit flexibility. That way, you still have the limit that you need, and you can actually just, chill and pay down your balances. And based on your high FICO score, I don't think you have a high CUR, credit utilization ratio, or a high DTI. I don't think so. But hey, listen, if there's something, please pay it down so that you can actually lower your credit utilization even further. Okay. And the thing here is that you want to carry on and focus on the future. Because one thing I don't want you to do is to really be so pissed that you forget about the fundamentals, forget about what's really important. What's important is to have a sturdy, a stable financial life. Okay. If Chase does not want to grant you if they don't want to grant you a $10,000 or a $15,000 right now, that's fine. Okay. That's fine. What you want to do is you want to maintain relationships. Now, if you're maintain relationship with all the banks that you deal with. Now, if your goal is to have a higher limit on your Chase credit card, maybe because of the rewards or the perks or whatnot, make sure that you beef up your relationship with Chase specifically. Make sure, for instance, that you have your direct deposit with them, that you open a diversity of accounts with them. Okay, that you actually maintain a better relationship with the branch manager or the branch staff where you were located at. At your branch, you want folks to know you on a first name basis, because those are important things. That way, little by little, gradually, you will see things change, and they will actually, and by the way, they will let you know. I mean, if you talk to them, they'll let you know why they give you such a tiny limit, quote unquote, tiny limit in the first place. Very important. Solution idea number 4. Robert, I want you to improve your financial habits overall. The thing here is that normally, based on your high FICO score, I really don't think that you have bad financial habits. But what I want to do, I still want to say it anyway, because you said that your wife doesn't work at the moment. Okay, is your wife financially responsible? In other words, is she managing your credit cards properly? Because one thing you didn't tell us, which would have been very, very interesting, is to know the FICO score of your wife's FICO score. Because you only talked about your own FICO score, but you did not mention your. So the thing is she financially responsible? Does she have a? I mean, chances are she is, but you never know. See, the thing is, if she is running things on her side, let's say she has missed or late payments on her credit cards, because the 5 cards that you mentioned that you are using, you never mentioned if those cards are co-used or those are your own credit cards, and she has her own credit cards also. Okay, and so if the thing is, there might be a risk if on her side of things are not that positive. In other words, she's not actually joining the program, quote unquote, the program where she is financially responsible. If she's having missed or late payments, for example, if she has a high credit utilization, that's what I'm talking about when I said improve your financial habits overall, not just for yourself but also for your wife. Okay, so if she's having a CUR, a credit utilization ratio that is above 30%, this could be detrimental not to your credit score but to her credit score, which overall will actually preclude you from having a high limit, because Chase is looking at your household's expenses also to give you a credit limit. Chase is also looking at the limits that you currently have available on all other credit cards. Because if Chase sees that you have so much limits already that you're not using, why would they give you more? Why would they give you a higher limit? Okay, this is important because if you haven't used a credit card much or at all over a certain amount of time, the card issuer, in this case Chase, might lower your credit limits or give you basically a lower credit limit to start with. Okay, so you can also, because credit card issuers track your spending and how it changes, and they may use the data they gather to alter your credit limits, whatever they give you initially, or once they give it to you, whether they want to increase you or decrease you, it really depends. So everything starts with making sure that you improve your financial habits overall, not only yours but also your wife's. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. Today's conversation was around FICO score versus actual score, and it was Robert W., who, a 49-year-old from Charlotte, North Carolina, who wanted to have some explanation, and we hope that we did our best to explain things to him. Dear viewers, we know that you are smart. Overall and collectively, your wisdom is wonderful. Please feel free to pitch in. Feel free to explain to Robert a lot of things, to give him advice. He will be listening. And Robert, if you have other questions, please feel free to email us, and we'll be very happy to answer you. Or even send. You can put the emails in. You can put your comments in the or your questions in the comment section, and we will answer you. Thank you so much. God bless you, and I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.